Pay close attention. This isn't a kidnapping mystery. It's a love story stolen by greed. Stolen by blood relatives who abandoned family until money was back on the table. Our story begins on a quiet evening in Maplewood, Virginia. A home security camera is pointed at a backyard patio. It captures a wheelchair, an elderly man, and the woman who cared for him. Their interaction lasts just 31 seconds. It is tender, real, and for Alicia Turner, it becomes her last recorded moment alive. 11 days later, her body is found. Zip-tied, strangled, and left in an abandoned warehouse. While the entire city searched for her, the truth was hiding in plain sight. This was planned, paid for, and carried out by the very family she believed was simply distant, not deadly. But to understand why Alicia had to disappear, you have to understand the man she loved, and the family who believed their inheritance was more important than his happiness. William Hargrove was a successful independent man. He had wealth, property, and 3 relatives who saw him as their financial future. His son Bradley, his daughter Christine, and his grandson Tyler. In September of 2021, a truck slammed into William's car at high speed. The impact shattered his spine, leaving him paralyzed from the waist down. His life changed overnight. At first, the family visited. There was sympathy, there were phone calls, there was concern. But within months, the visits slowed down, and then they stopped almost entirely. William started counting the silence in days, then weeks, then entire holidays spent alone. Birthdays passed with no one knocking at his door. Investigators would later recover William's handwritten journal. One entry stood out. "My family vanished the moment I became a burden. I only mattered when I signed the checks." Then, in December 2021, a home care agency sent their best caregiver, Alicia Turner. She was 32, born in Richmond, a college dropout not by choice, but by necessity. Her mother had fallen ill, and Alicia abandoned nursing school to care for her. After her mother passed away, she stayed in home care, practicing nursing through compassion rather than certificates. On her first day at William's house, she found him withdrawn, silent, almost invisible inside his own life. She asked him one unexpected question: "What's your favorite meal?" "The one you'd cook if you could." William turned, surprised that someone was asking him what he wanted, not just what he needed. He whispered, "Lasagna. My wife's recipe." 2 days later, Alicia returned with all the ingredients. She set the counter low so he could help from his wheelchair. As they ate together, William began to cry not from pain, but from finally being seen. From that day forward, Alicia became more than just hired help. She became William's lifeline back to the human world. Alicia brought music into the house: jazz records, Miles Davis, Coltrane. She read his favorite poetry aloud. She took him to parks, to restaurants, to places that reminded him that life still belonged to him. After months of laughter, shared meals, and patient encouragement, William began feeling something he believed was impossible: love. He stayed silent about it until one evening in 2022 when he asked her, "Why do you waste your time with a broken old man?" Alicia answered, "You're not broken. You just needed someone to see you." By 2023, their connection had deepened far beyond friendship. William confessed his feelings, embarrassed, apologizing for loving someone half his age. Overwhelmed, Alicia walked out. But the next morning, she returned. She knelt beside his wheelchair and whispered the words she had run away from: "I love you too." From that moment on, they were a couple private, quiet, and fiercely protective of each other. For 3 years, the Hargrove family was absent. Then, suddenly, in January of 2024, Bradley showed up unannounced after 8 months of complete silence. He wasn't there to reconnect. He was there because he needed money. Phone records would later prove the visit, followed a series of calls to financial advisors. He entered the house and found what was, to him, unthinkable. His father smiling, holding hands with Alicia. They weren't nurse and patient. They were partners. Bradley erupted, accusing her of manipulation. William fired back, demanding to know where they were when he needed them. Bradley stormed out and immediately called his sister and his son. The very next day, the entire family arrived, demanding that Alicia be fired. William refused. Voices rose. The family left, but this time, they didn't stay gone for long. They ran background checks on Alicia. They consulted lawyers. They tried to prove William was mentally incompetent, but every effort collapsed. Alicia's record was clean. William was perfectly lucid. With every failed attempt, their panic twisted into something much darker. On March 5, 2024, William visited his lawyer and rewrote his will. After years of abandonment, he decided to leave nearly everything, $2.5 million, the house, and all remaining assets to Alicia. His family received drastically reduced amounts. But worse for them, William included a specific clause. If any family member committed a crime against Alicia, they would lose everything. He thought this would protect her. Instead, it triggered the decision that would end her life. An assistant at the law office, who happened to be an old friend of Christine, secretly notified her of the changes. By that evening, all three relatives met, enraged. They debated lawsuits. They discussed competency hearings. Nothing seemed viable. Finally, Bradley said the sentence that changed everything. If she isn't here to collect, the money reverts to us. Silence fell over the room. It was a moment of decision. And then, agreement. Tyler made the call. He contacted a disgraced ex-Marine with a history of violence. That man brought in an accomplice. The price was $50,000, paid in 2 installments. They began watching William's home for days. They mapped out Alicia's schedule. They waited for their moment. All the while, Alicia lived her life, completely unaware that 2 strangers were timing her every step. On March 14th, Alicia spent the day with William. They had breakfast. They laughed. They listened to jazz. They did his therapy exercises. They made plans for the next day. What she didn't know was that William had purchased an engagement ring. He planned to propose. Just before sunset, they went outside onto the patio. Alicia leaned down and kissed him gently, lovingly. A kiss that would later prove to a courtroom that William wasn't manipulated. He was chosen. Alicia went back inside, gathered her things, and left for the evening. She thought she would be back in the morning. She never arrived. She stopped at a local grocery store on her way home. A van pulled up beside her car. 2 men grabbed her. They bound her hands and dragged her into the vehicle. The entire abduction took less than 40 seconds. A witness heard something strange but shrugged it off. Alicia was driven to a shuttered warehouse. She was zip-tied. She was told exactly why she was there, that the people who shared William's blood had paid for her death. Less than an hour after she was taken, Alicia Turner was strangled. The men left her body locked in a cold, windowless room. They received their final cash payment. Tyler returned home. He lied to his wife, and he slept peacefully. The police found her abandoned car the next day. Her purse, keys, and phone were all untouched inside. There were signs of a struggle everywhere. An Amber Alert was issued. When William learned the news, he collapsed emotionally. He told detectives everything, the relationship, the family conflict, the threats. But nothing could bring Alicia back. 11 days later, an anonymous call led police to the warehouse. Inside, they found Alicia, lying right where she was left. She was still wearing the same navy scrubs. She was still bound. The aftermath was a digital and financial trail. Phone records, deleted text messages, large cash withdrawals, surveillance footage, and that 31-second video of a kiss. Piece by piece, investigators reconstructed a crime born not from a moment of rage, but from cold, calculated entitlement. A family who abandoned a man when he suffered, only to return when their inheritance was at risk. And they eliminated the one woman who gave him a reason to live. Alicia Turner saved William Hargrove. She brought joy, dignity, love, and purpose back into his final years. And for that, she was murdered. She deserved so much better than a cold warehouse floor. She deserved the life she was finally building for herself. The world should remember her not as a victim, but as a woman who cared until greed silenced her heartbeat. Thank you for listening.